Okay, have you ever on your controller and you wanted to pair to your computer and the light turns on, yet there is no controller detected on your Steam? So let me guide you on ways that you can troubleshoot to set up your PS4 controller to Steam. And without further ado, let's begin with the first step. Alright, so first connect your micro USB to the controller and check whether there's a yellow light on the controller. If there is, means we are okay with the first step of the troubleshoot, and if not, get a new wire and do it again. So next step, make sure check that your Bluetooth is turned on, and if you're on Windows 10 or 11, you can always click on this arrow button at the bottom right corner. There is a Bluetooth device. You right click and show Bluetooth device, which will pop up this screen, and make sure you have your wireless controller paired with your dish controller. And if you haven't paired it yet, all you got to do is just press the PlayStation button here and the share button here, and then you press and hold until it flickers. As you can see, it flickers, and then you go add device, Bluetooth, and you will have a wireless controller right here. And once it's done, make sure next you go to Steam and go to big picture and go to settings here and go to controller settings. And if your controller is not yet detected by then, we can move on to another step to troubleshoot this situation. So next, once it detects, you just click on the PlayStation configuration support so that you can start playing using the controller. So as you can see, it's working already. And if you're going to use a Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, you will just click on the Xbox configuration support, and that's it for the standard part. If you have already do all that step and there's still issues, all you got to do, go to the start menu, right click and press on the device manager, or you can always press search device manager and it will come out here. The thing that we should take note of is the human interface devices. Open up, you will see there's a lot of stuff. All you got to do is ensure that the HID compliant game controller is enabled, because if it's not enabled, your controller will not work. As you can see, if it's disabled, there will be a some kind of exclamation mark or some other marker. Then all you got to do is just right click, enable device, or you can just press right click on it, properties, and then enable device, and next, and finish. And with that, it will immediately connect that. And even after doing that, even if you have tried all of that step and it still doesn't work, you may want to try the DS4 Windows download, and the link will be on the description. All you got to do, just click on the download right here, and the pop-up will appear, and then you just need to download. It will be a zip file. Like you can see, it will be a Windows DS4 Windows 3.018 at this. Alright, so once you click download on the DS4 Windows, go to the folder where you download, right click on it. You can just extract with WinRAR or 7-zip or whatever you have. Just extract it in a folder. Extract DS4 Windows, you just click on here and ignore everything else except for the DS4 Windows.exe. And if you can see, this exe is due to the fact that under view, you just need to check file extension name. If it's checked already, then you will see it. If not, you don't really need to bother about it. Just got to do is double click on it, and it will ask you to download the .net file, and all you got to do is just press yes. So once you click yes, it will lead you either to the 6.0 runtime or the 5.0 runtime. It can be either one, and I will link both also under the description. It will be better if you download the 6.0, and if you still have issues, download the 5.0. Use your preferred choice of your software, which is, for me, is the download x64. And once it finished download, all you got to do is open the folder. For me, in this case, is here. and it will put that as a exe file, and all I got to do is just double click, and just for me, because I have installed it, you just press install, and I can just, for me, I just press repair, click install, and it's successful. And now you go back to your DS4 Windows and double click on it, and the window will start to pop up, and this window will appear. And for the first time you set this up, there's a pop-up here says welcome to DS4 Windows, and all you got to do is just install the VIGE MBus driver. Click on that, and then you just press next, then install and finish. Alright, so once it's done, if you are running on Windows 7, you click on this to install the 360 driver. But for my case, I'm using Windows 11, so when I click it, nothing happens. And once you install that with Windows, if you are using Windows 10 or 11, you can straight away press start. Once you press start, you can see my controller is already, as you can see, my controller is already detected. But if your controller still doesn't detect this, download, and yeah, just the secure download, and then it will just pop up and it will start downloading, and then installation is complete, and then just restart the computer and see whether it works. If it still doesn't work, we will move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is by using the input mapper. This is also another emulator that acts your PS4 controller as a Xbox 360. So you just got to do is just download now, and it will be here. It will say input mapper 1.7 and yada yada.exe. All you got to do is just click and just download as per normal, and just yes. Alright, with that you can just click on launch input mapper 1.7 and press finish. And immediately, if your controller is still connected by the USB cable, you can see there the DualShock controller will be detected as well. But and if you can immediately test whether it works, you can just use your mouse wheel here and just move around, and then you can see using the trackpad here, the mouse is moving, so it is the correct one. And all, you don't need to do any settings, and you can start using it. But even if you have connect to this and you check your Steam, in the big picture it still doesn't detect it as a controller, you may have to download the 1.6 version instead. And with 1.6 version, all you got to do is go to emulator.com again, press downloads, click on the input mapper 1.6. I have no idea what's the difference between 1.7 and 1.6, but once I download 1.6, it somehow works. So just once you click on it, as the same, just click on download now, and then click download now, and then you will see the input mapper 1.69. So just double click on it, run, and agree, install. So by then, if nothing works, you can just uninstall your DS4 Windows or your input mapper 1.7. Then you just run the 1.6 instead, and in theory it should be able to run. You just type input mapper, and once you click, you check, it will immediately, you will see it is the 1.6.9 on top right there, and then it will have the controller right here, but if there's any error at this bottom right, you can just ignore it, because it doesn't really affect the gameplay. Because if you see, I can still use the trackpad to control the mouse. Once you go to Steam and go to big picture, you can see the controller is working, and it will say there is a Xbox 360, because the input mapper, it acts as a Xbox 360 controller. But if you have no issues, you can just always close this controller. Once you turn it on, it would be detecting as a normal PS4 controller. So if it once you close input mapper and it says PS4 controller, you no longer need to use any of the emulator, and you can just immediately use as it is. And if you, like I say again, once if you use a Xbox controller, you click on Xbox configure support. So that's all. I hope that is comprehensive enough for your troubleshoot. And if there's any issue, just leave in the comment down below. If it is helpful, do hit the like button and share to your friends if they have facing the same issues, because it took me a while to figure out all the troubleshoot ways to run on my laptop. And I will greatly appreciate if you can also leave a sub. And if you have any other inquiries, do hit in the comment down below. And once again, I would say that the links will be uploaded to the description down below. And that's all from me, and happy gaming to you guys.